Yes, so hello again, everyone. Welcome to everyone that's just joining us. As I've said, today is going to be very exciting because we are unveiling the results of our 2026 report. Yes, I think our team has also placed the link to the report. So if you have not downloaded the report yet, feel free to click on the link and download the report to find out the results this year. So quick rundown again of the agenda. We will start with a short introduction by our lead writer, Shengul. Then we will move on to the highlights or the key insights from this report from our CEO, Ellie David, and then finally the methodology by our data manager, Ayastan. And then we will move on to presentations from different ecosystems around the world. So if you're presenting, thank you, and we will promote you once it's your time to speak. So without further ado, we will be starting. So I would like to introduce first Shengul. Hi, Shengul. Who is
Hello,
our
hello everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you're joining from us. I know we have a global audience, so let me share my screen. Karen, please let me know when you see my screen.
Yes, we see it. Thank you.
Okay. So I will do a very brief introduction about how you can navigate through the report and what sections we have. So if you look at the table of contents, you will see all the sections that we have. I think most interesting parts to read is, of course, the work from our CEO, and then you can go to introduction to get the taste of the report a bit better. And then I would like to introduce the key insights section, which our CEO will talk about it as well. This is the most interesting findings of the rankings. And then we show the top countries and top cities tables. This is where you can learn about the actual ranking of your ecosystem. And then we give some insights into regions. What are the top countries and cities in each region? And of course, the most in-depth section of the report is the country profiles. So you can navigate to your country profile and see where your country is ranking, what is the momentum, and many different data aspects as well. We also have contender countries and cities for those that are not able to get into the threshold, but still has some good achievements. So this section is for you as well to learn about your ecosystem, even if it's not in the top 100. And for those who are interested in methodology, we have a section that is diving deep into the data and how we measure the ecosystems. So feel free to take a look. And finally, we have a nice section of city and country of the year. And I'm not going to give the spoiler, but country of the year is with us in this session as well, so we will learn about it. But that's basically it about the report. And this year we made few new adjustments and improvements to the report, and you will see it across the report. But a few of the things that excites me most is, first of all, we added a new data layer, which is ecosystem value. So now you can see also valuations for startup ecosystems on country levels. And also we now have a pillars and functional categories, so you can see the rankings from different perspectives, such as funding and capital, and then talent and employment. So across these layers, we also have different rankings for the ecosystems. So without further speaking, I will stop sharing my screen and get back to Catherine.
Hi, yes. Hi. Thank you, everyone. And thank you, Shango. It's really, very interesting, this report, especially with our new pillars and new functional categories. I think during the methodology, we will be explaining more about it, but it's one thing that we have developed for this year's report. And we will be explaining more, and there will be more reasons to celebrate for more ecosystems because of these new categories that we have. Yes. So, and now we will be moving on to the key insights from our CEO, Ellie David Roca. Ellie, we're very excited to hear a lot about the results.
Thank you, Catherine. Thank you, Shengul, and everyone. This is our annual holiday in Startup Link, where we are launching this report. We really think that this is a very important report because for us, one of the key questions that anyone should ask themselves is where should I build a business? Where should I build a startup? Where should I become a stakeholder of a startup ecosystem? And I think that generally, we've tried so hard for 10 years to basically build the most comprehensive, accurate algorithm there is on the planet, taking into account, I think now about 70 different parameters that all add to a total score. So Astan can tell us a little bit in a second, or the team can tell us a little bit in a second about the methodology. But I just want to say that, yeah, I'll share my screen and I'll just go a little bit over some of the results, but I totally recommend to all of you to download the report and maybe go over it yourself, because that would be the most easy way to understand what's going on. It's 450 pages though, so be warned, it's not a fast read. But yeah, I'll just jump through very, very fast intuitively about the things that I've seen that I found interesting. First of all, in terms of, we also have regional growth, which is basically the growth of the ecosystem. Middle East and Africa this year is a clear winner. And also we have Latin America and Caribbean. Middle East is more than 20% growth rate. There is something very interesting happening in the Middle East in terms of startup ecosystem growth. And it's really nice to see the trend. Latin America is also jumping a lot. So yeah, those are the two clear winners this year. In terms of micro regions or business regions, Central Asia continues to be the leading one in the world in terms of growth. So a lot is happening there. Those ecosystems are relatively seed ecosystems, but they're growing very, very fast. This is the second year in a row that the Central Asian ecosystems are growing fast. Caribbean has recovered this year and grew also fast, and also Central Africa. So yeah, pretty interesting situation. I'll go jump into a little bit the countries ranking and the cities ranking. So first of all, needless to say, countries, we have one clear leader. You look at the total score of the algorithm, 314, and you see the total score of United Kingdom. Be aware it's also adjusted per capita. So United States is so powerful in terms of a hub of an ecosystem that they still, and by the way, the growth rate of the United States is also extremely high. It's 23.6% this year. It's really a train that doesn't stop riding forward. I will say that in the top 10, something interesting that should be noted is Singapore, growing actually the fastest in the top 10 at 24.4% growth rate. A very interesting growth, and very, like, this is sustainable over many years. So something big is happening in Singapore. They're now number 4 in the world based on per capita. And congrats to Australia, finally making a comeback. Grew by 3 spots, 22.9% growth, finally back in the top 10. So Australia has always been a mystery for us. Why they're not ranked higher? Why don't they create more and more startups? Now finally they've managed to get it to the top 10. Of course, everyone that wins and gets to the top 10 pushes someone out. So in this case, France had a relatively low growth of 4.7%, and it's now number 11. A few mentions of interesting ecosystems that I'm trying to figure out who, according to the growth rate, who had a very good year. So first of all, Taiwan. Taiwan grew by 41%. It's for the first time in the top 20. Taiwan is powering the digital ecosystem of the world. Basically, they have a lot of hidden giants that are powering and providing the infrastructure. Of course, the most known one is TSMC, but they have a lot more. So beautiful growth rate. India has also grew by a very high percentage. Italy, also great year for Italy, making it to the top 25, 25.4% growth. Europe had a very low growth rate, so seeing Italy growing so fast is quite interesting. Saudi Arabia, 97% growth. One of the most, like, over the years, Saudi Arabia is really closing gaps in terms of ecosystem growth, in terms of investment as well. It's really interesting to see. It's basically almost a phenomenon that we've never seen before, of a country that is climbing so fast. So very interesting things are happening there. Other than that, I think Poland also had a beautiful growth rate of 29%. Cyprus is, for the third year in a row, the fastest growing ecosystem in Europe, in the EU. So very, very, very good one. Turkey had a great year as well. I'm just trying to figure out the main ones. Two ecosystems of Southeast Asia grew incredibly fast, both Thailand and Vietnam. So you can see the growth rate above 60%. Very interesting things are happening in the region of Southeast Asia. So always interesting to see. And a good word also to Georgia and to North Macedonia, both of them growing at above 75%. And needless to say, a massive jump that we have, the biggest jump in terms of growth rate is actually Uzbekistan. Also, very interesting situation there. In the last 2 years, this ecosystem has grew substantially in triple-digit growth rate. They're still ranked relatively low, but the momentum is outstanding. And I also want to congratulate 3 new countries that have made it for 2026 into the top 100. El Salvador jumped into number 80. Interesting things happening there as well. And other than that, Mauritius also new at 85, and Trinidad and Tobago. In terms of the cities, no big surprises. San Francisco still at the top, almost 3 times bigger than New York and any other ecosystem. Look at the total score, compare it to everyone's else total score, you understand very well what's going on. Other than that, interesting items on the cities level. I think for me, the highest growth rate in the top 10 is Singapore City. So it's really interesting to see how Singapore is climbing so fast. Again, this is the cities, not adjusted per capita. Austin, I want to talk about 2 quick cities in the US. One of them is very fast growing cities in the US. One of them is Austin. Austin, Texas, growing incredibly fast for the 2nd year in a row, or even the 3rd. Very interesting to see how Austin is almost becoming a top 10 leading startup ecosystem. So that's a phenomenon that we all have to notice. And the other one is Miami, getting very, very close to the top 20. Very impressive growth rate at 41.8. And then I think there are so many news other than that. Riyadh becoming the top one in the Gulf, and many other things. Istanbul doing really well. So I think there are many things here that can be celebrated by many other cities around the world. Again, there is a list of 1,500 cities and 120 countries. So I hope everyone enjoys this. We all have to make decisions based on this, and in terms of where do we stay, where we choose to build our startup is probably one of the most important decisions we will ever make. And I also want to thank more than 150 ecosystem developer partners from all over the world that took the time to contribute to their ecosystem and to the data and to the promotion and so on. Most countries and cities are still not doing a lot of efforts in terms of startups. So those 150 plus partners that we have for this report are very unique. They honestly care. They are almost feeling like startups. You would see some of them here pitching their city or country as if it was a startup. And this is exactly the mindset that is needed in order to build ecosystems. So congratulations to everyone, and hope you enjoy reading the report. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ellie. Really exciting results. If you've just joined us and haven't downloaded the report, the link is on the chat as well. So after hearing those amazing key insights, we will now hear a bit about the methodology from our data manager, Ayazdan. Hi, Ayazdan. How are you?
Hey everybody, it's great to meet you. Thank you for everyone who is joining. My name is Ayazdan. I'm data manager at Startup Link, and I want to go over a bit about our methodology. First, I want to start about our main guiding principles. The methodology starts with simple objective, which is to make the rankings as accurate as possible and as data-driven as possible. For that reason, we rely only on objective and quantifiable data that can be gathered and measured across countries and cities worldwide. And we focus on measurable startup ecosystem outputs rather than relying on opinions, perceptions, or surveys. So the Global Startup Ecosystem Index, GSCI, does not measure broad urban innovation or smart city policies. Instead, it solely focuses on the output of the entrepreneurial innovation developed in each location. So now I want to talk about the size of the data. Our database now includes more than 270,000 startups built from 3 main sources: crowdsourced submissions to Startup Link Map, integrations with data providers such as Crunchbase, and partnerships with more than 100 government and public sector agencies worldwide. Now, in this page, in these two, we are describing how we define startups, what do we do with unicorns, exits, and other parameters. But I don't want to go into much detail. I want to invite you to look at for yourself if you're interested in it. But what I want to pay attention to is how we built our algorithm, and specifically how the whole score is built. Now, the ecosystem total score consists of three main subscores, which is quantity, quality, and the business environment. The quantity subscore focuses on one question, which is how much startup ecosystem activity exists. And it has parameters such as number of startups, number of investors, accelerators, co-working spaces, presence of local corporations engaged in startup activity. Now, the quality score answers another question, which is how strong and impactful is the ecosystem activity? And it has the biggest number of parameters out of all of the subscores. And then lastly, we have the business score. This year, business score is based upon Innovator's Business Environment Index, IBEI, which we made and published in January. And you're welcome to look it up. It's a pretty amazing index too. And so, yeah, so out of those three, the total score, it consists of three subscores. Now, I want to talk about the main changes we did in the algorithm and what we added. First and foremost, one of our parameters, value of exits, is now considering all acquisition prices, not just the acquisition prices of exits below 1 billion. We added a new parameter called the university rankings, which we think is measuring a lot of talent and employment opportunities in the ecosystem. Then we added two more parameters, which is the corporation count at the location and the corporate startup activity rank, which is from our third index, CSCI. Also welcome to look at it later. And lastly, our business score is now the IBEI, which is the Innovators Business Environment Score. So the update on the algorithms is done, and now I just want to show you the new analytical layer that we added, which is the pillars and functional categories of GSCI. So this new analytical layer does not change the ranking itself. Instead, it reorganizes and combines certain parameters and data into clearer themes to explain what kind of strength the ecosystem has. And it's based around three pillars, which is the ecosystem stakeholder strength, ecosystem economic contribution, and ecosystem brand value. So those three pillars have a certain amount of functional categories inside of them, and the functional categories have a set of parameters within them. And each is trying to answer a specific strength of the ecosystem. Now, how this scores is built is by grouping relevant parameters together and then summing them up into a functional category, which then is being summed up to get the pillar scores, and then everything is being scaled from 0 to 100 to give relevant ranking results. Now, I think I went over all of the updates we did for the methodology, so thank you.
Thank you so much, Aiston. Yeah, great to know more about the methodology and all of these changes this year. Yes, so now we're finished with the first part of our event. We will now be moving on to a more interactive and, I guess, more interesting part for a lot of us. We will now be going to the ecosystem presentation. So I would like to first welcome my colleague Alexandra, who will be helping me with introducing the next set of presenters. Each presenter will have around 5 minutes to speak, and we will have different presenters from around the world, like Colombia, Turkey, Uzbekistan, the Netherlands, Canada, the US, Vietnam as well. So it's a very international crowd that we have today. Yes, so without further ado, I would like to introduce our first ecosystem, Cali. We will be hearing more about Cali from Ana Maria Castillo, who is the Director of Global Growth at Cámara de Comercio de Cali. As we welcome Ana, just quick insights for Cali on this year's report. Cali had the biggest rank climb in LATAM's top 20 cities. It also has the best ecosystem growth in Colombia, and it's now number 13 in Latam. So hello, Anna. Thank you for joining us, Ana Maria. You're on mute, sorry. Ana Maria, sorry, you're on mute.
Sorry, can you hear me well?
Yes, perfect.
Okay, thank you very much for the invitation, Catherine, and all the Startup Link team for this invitation. This year, we celebrate significant progress in the Startup Link rankings, reflecting the collective effort of our ecosystem. First, Cali ranked as 212 globally, improving by 65 spots compared to the last year. Ranked 13 in Latin America, up to 4 spots from last year as well. Annual ecosystem grew more than 100%, the highest among top 300 cities in Latin America. These results confirm Cali's sustained growth and its positioning as a fertile ground for entrepreneurship and innovation-driven investment. In 2024, Cali experienced a 75 increase in the number of startups compared to the previous year, the highest growth among Colombia's major cities. A brief profile of our startups. 44% of them have international presence, 91 operate with a business-to-business model, 72 incorporate AI in their products or services. These figures highlight not only the volume of our startups, but also their maturity, global vision, and tech-driven approach. Cali ecosystem is driven by solid industries and emerging sectors with global potential. Our top performing sectors are software as a service, fintech, and business management. And our emerging strategic sectors are health tech, with Cali now ranking in top 9 positions in Latin America, logistics, agri-food tech, bioeconomy, and clean technologies as a legacy of COP16. Our ecosystem is growing and investors know it. In 2024, the region raised near to $10 million in venture capital, and this represents an increase of 4.2 compared to 2023. A milestone this year was the arrival of Epic Angels, the largest investor network in Asia Pacific, which chose Cali for its first investment in Latin America, supporting a female-led startup. Additionally, this year we saw a 34% increase in the number of female founders, reaffirming female leadership as a transformative force within our ecosystem. Pacific Ventures, the regional angel investment vehicle, has established itself as one of the most dynamic in Colombia, completing 5 investments in its first year of operation and strengthening the ecosystem's ability to mobilize capital toward high potential startups. More than 100 investors have been supported through the Cali Chamber of Commerce investment strategy, helping build a more sophisticated, connected, and active investment community to drive the growth of Valle del Cauca's entrepreneurial ecosystem. Behind these achievements lies strong public-private coordination. One of the best examples is NIDO, our joint strategy by the government of Valle del Cauca, the Mayor's Office of Cali, Confandi, and Cali Chamber of Commerce. NIDO aims to boost and accelerate tech-based entrepreneurship, connecting local capabilities to position Cali as a high-impact hub in Latin America. At Cali Chamber of Commerce, we believe growth happens when ecosystems connect, collaborate, and create opportunities together. Today, Cali is not only growing in rankings, it is emerging as a region where innovation, investment, and talent come together with purpose. We invite entrepreneurs, investors, and innovators from around the world to discover a city that is building possibilities, accelerating global connection, and shaping the future of the Pacific region of Colombia. Thank you a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ana Maria. I just want to say, Catherine, to jump for a second, because I really want to congratulate Cali. Cali is such an interesting city because it is almost impossible to see a city that is not a capital city in Latam that is so active and ambitious. And I honestly have almost I have to say also Medellin. So there is something very interesting in Colombia happening generally that doesn't happen anywhere in Latam, almost nowhere in Latam. So Cali started very, very early. They didn't care that they're not the capital city or even the second biggest city in Colombia, and they keep on pushing. La Cámara de Comercio de Cali is doing really outstanding work. I think everyone is very fortunate to have you supporting the ecosystem. I can tell you I have not seen many examples like this, so you're doing great work, and thank you so much for your work. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Lai, for your words.
Great. Thank you so much, Ana Maria, and thank you for joining us today. So now we will be moving on to our next ecosystem, Ankara in Turkey. We will be hearing from Emin Gokaya, who is the Secretary General at Ankara Development Agency. While we're promoting them, some quick insights for this year's report. Ankara is number 2 in Turkey, and it has the fastest growth among the top 3 in Turkey, and it climbed 20 spots as well in Europe. So hello, Amin, how are you?
Hi, I'm fine. How are you?
Great, yeah, so thank you. The floor is yours. I think my team will also be sharing your screen. You can also share, it's not a problem.
I'm thinking. Oh, let's see that one. Not that one. I think I couldn't manage. Just 1 second.
No worries. If you like, we can share the screen.
First, I think I need to make it the full size. Yeah. Okay, I think it will work this time. Yes, I think it looks better
Perfect.
now,
Yeah.
right?
Thank you. 5 minutes start. Thank you.
First of all, I would like to introduce myself to you. It's Emine Gökkaya from Ankara Development Agency. I'm working in the Investment Support Office. And this is going to be a review of Ankara startup ecosystem to you with our informations. Oh, sorry. Okay, let's first start with a little bit of introduction of Turkey for the people who maybe haven't heard about it, because Istanbul is the famous city for Turkey, and everybody's thinking Istanbul is the capital of Turkey. But actually, Ankara is the Turkey's capital city and also Turkey's technology hub. Compared to other countries, Ankara is a slowly developing system, we can say, but it's developing sound and steady. I think okay. Of course, according to the financial growth, financial greatness, and the population, Istanbul is taking the first rank all the time, and Ankara is following the second or the third rank in terms of financial points. Ankara ranks as Turkey's second largest province in terms of GDP. For the 2025, it was approximately 130 billions, Ankara's share of GDP. When we check the export shares, Ankara becomes the 4th largest exporting province. Thinking that Ankara doesn't have any harbors or piers, which is on the very middle of the country, it's okay to be on the 4th rank. And Ankara is very rich from the medium and high technology startups and companies. Those exports that we completed last year, more than half of them were medium and high technology products. So we can say that the ecosystem infrastructure has a strong foundation. In Ankara, we have more than 3,000 technology startups. This is the total number of technology startups operating in Ankara, and they are still growing and growing. The number is multiplying. The total investment happens in tech startups since 2018. It's $331 million. And 270 of those startups founded by different foundations and by different institutions. As I said, Ankara is a strong ecosystem, very slow and sound, we can say. Ankara is very rich of the number of universities, and those technoparks, that there are 14 technoparks which are operating in universities. So this is also a sub-ecosystem, we can say, in Ankara. And most of those companies which are operating in technoparks, they are concentrating on technologies. In addition to the technoparks, we have technology transfer offices. Most of them are in universities, but there are some of them, they are not operating under universities, they are autonomous. And we have technology centers, 10 different technology centers. They support the early stage companies especially. And we have more than 22 incubators and accelerators. Some of them are in technoparks, some of them are in TTOs, and some of them are in TechMars, in technology centers. And they are also running their own support programs for the growth of the startups. When it comes to the ranking and the other things, 2024 was an acceleration year for Ankara, but 2025 became a normalization period in the ecosystem. Even it was a normalization period, in 2025, there were 59 investment deals which occurred, and the total investment raised was 41 million. And when we check the median investment, it's $515,000. So 2025 was a normalization period for Ankara for the entrepreneurship ecosystem. And the median investment fell to the $515,000 US dollars compared to the 2024. It was there was a decrease, we can say. Here you can see the investment dynamics and distribution by city. Ankara is taking the second rank. Of course, Istanbul is always on the first rank. And as we mentioned for 2025, you can see the numbers. And here you can see the differences by year-over-year overview. Yeah, sure. I'm going to wrap it up. And here you can see the investment ranges. Okay. The sectoral distribution in Ankara is very important according to us, the funded startups in Ankara. As I said, they are generally high-tech companies. Manufacturing is getting the most of the funded startups. It's followed by health, automobile, robotics, fintech, and gaming. Gaming is the emerging sector in Ankara, we can say. And in Turkey, we also have a very good and nice angel and foreign investors atmosphere. Angel investors are really supporting the startups. And what does Ankara Development Agency do? We are operating under Ministry of Industry and Technology. And actually, we are a founding institution. We open programs and we make calls and we try to fund investors, startups, and also other entities and institutions. So we are organizing a project market. We have mentorship programs for the startups, and we are trying to make the startups more visible in international fairs like Web Summit / CSI and Gamescom. We are also working with some public institutions. Maybe you heard some of them. We are one of the three big institutions besides TÜBİTAK and KOSGEB, which are also operating under Ministry of Industry. Here you can see the numbers of the companies which are operating in TechMers, the technology centers. These are the incubators in Ankara, incubation centers in Ankara. They have their own accelerator programs. And we also have research and design centers in Ankara, research and development centers in Ankara, besides the design centers. Most of them are focusing on defense industry, machinery, equipment, software, computer communication technologies. And in the design centers, of course, it's in correlation with the R&D centers. To sum up, Ankara has many strengths. Ankara has the beautiful university atmosphere, which is producing the necessary human resource who are going to work in those industries, in research and development centers and in design centers. We have many development areas, and Ankara is providing a very beautiful atmosphere for people who would like to invest and who are also who also would like to build up their companies, their startups. Thank you for listening to me.
Thank you so much, Amin. Thank you for sharing more about Ankara, and thank you for joining us today. I know it was a holiday, so thank you for making time.
Thank you.
Great. So now we will be traveling to Central Asia, and we will be hearing more about the ecosystem of Uzbekistan. We will be hearing more about it from Azamat Karamatov, who is the CEO of IT Park Uzbekistan. Uzbekistan this year had the highest ecosystem growth. It has two new ecosystems in the top 1,000. And we also have a lot of reasons to celebrate for Uzbekistan this year, with it being first in ecosystem visibility in Central Asia as well. Okay. Hello, Azamat. How are you? Thank you for joining
Hello.
us.
How are you? Good evening, dear guests, dear partners. It's an honor to be here today as the Startup Link releases the Global Startup Ecosystem Index 2026, and an even greater honor to stand here representing the country of the year. Thank you to Ellie David and the Startup Link team for making the index benchmark the global startup community trusts. Everything we built started with direct support from our president, His Excellency Shavkat Mirziyoyev. The 27 reforms gave the IT sector tax exemptions through 2014. Launch of this change helps us to build such kind ecosystem as we see today. So in 2017, reforms gave the IT sector tax exemptions through 2040, and launch of $50 million digital startup program in 2024, and Enterprise Uzbekistan, an international center of digital technologies, of year later. And this year, the president created a new framework for further development of the startup ecosystem. This steady pipeline of reforms is the reason we can plan years ahead. On top of that, we build programs and capital. The 3 years success of National Competition President Tech Award motivated the president to raise the prize to $5 million. Added $1 million of AI track, and this year took the model global with the Land of Startups $5 million competition open to founders worldwide. On the capital side, IT Park Ventures grew from $10 million to $30 million in 1 year and funded over 70 startups. And we now have 22 active VC funds in the Republic and angel clubs with the more than $200 million in combined capital. This is the work behind today's result. It happened because the ecosystem worked as a single mechanism. And I want to say that when we created IT Park, one of our main focus was the development of startup and venture ecosystem. And during this period, I was co-founder of some startups and did some exits of these startups from these startups, and I was managing partner of some VC companies in Uzbekistan. And I have witnessed how the ecosystem has evolved and transformed. I have been part of these changes both from the government side and from within the ecosystem itself. So now, as a CEO, see this the results of this change. It's a very exciting moment for me and for ecosystem too. I mean, thank you to Startup Link, to our partners and investors, and most of all to our founders to help us to achieve these results. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Azamat. And I want to say that also for us in Startup Link, it's always interesting to see countries that are going full speed. And I think we've been in your event in September, our team, and they witnessed firsthand how does it look like when a country takes it as a goal to become a startup economy. I have to say that there are very, very small amount of examples I think in recent history of what is done in Uzbekistan. And the work that you do is actually an excellent case study, I think, for how to do it at full speed. So thank you so much for your work. It's an honor to have you.
Your words helps us to do more and more to
Thank
achieve results and achieve new stages of development. Thank you.
Thank you again, Azamat, and thank you, Ali. So we're very excited to see more of Uzbekistan in the coming years, and we really see a lot of improvements. Yes, so we are now moving to our next ecosystem. We will be going all the way to North America, where it's still morning for their side. And we will learn more about Kingston, Canada, from Josh Bowery from Kingston Economic Development. While we're promoting Josh, some key insights this year for Kingston. It is currently has the fastest ecosystem growth in Canada's top 10, and it's also the top Canadian city with a population under 500,000. Okay. Josh here. Yes. Yeah, while my team is promoting Josh, sorry.
Hi there, can you hear me?
Yes. Hi, Josh. How are you?
Perfect.
Nice to see you.
Incredible. Yourself, it's nice to see you again.
It's always great to see you. Yeah, we're excited to hear more about Kingston. I think my team will be sharing your slides, Josh, so it's faster. Yeah.
All right, you can see
Okay.
everything?
Yes.
Fantastic. So, hello everyone. Thank you again, Katrin and the Startup Link team for bringing us all together. And thank you to the ecosystem leaders who have already spoken today. It's always a real privilege to listen and learn from all of you. I'm here today to talk about a small town in Kingston, Canada. Kingston is a city of about 160,000 people, and we sit almost exactly between three of the largest tech hubs, Toronto, Ottawa, and Montreal. On paper, it sounds like a disadvantage. We could easily be the kind of city to lose its best talent to the biggest cities every year. And we've decided to make that our strategy instead. Kingston's real strength is collaboration. Our accelerators, incubators, and programmers share founders, investors, share information openly with each other. We're anchored by 3 post-secondary institutions, Queen's University, St. Lawrence College, and Royal Military College of Canada. And the relationships between them, the city, and the local industry are very unusually tight. When people talk about the open book trust culture that defines a healthy ecosystem, that's exactly the culture that we've built. Let me give you an example of what an environment like this, like Kingston, can produce. A company called Cyclic Materials chose Kingston for their first commercial demonstration facility. They've developed a way to recycle rare earth elements out of electronic waste and old magnets and feed those critical minerals back into clean energy supply chains. They've now raised more than $150 million from serious global investors, including Microsoft, Amazon, BMW, Hitachi, BDC, and many more. The fact that a company like that chose to build here in our ecosystem says a lot about the ecosystem that we're growing. 3 areas are emerging as Kingston's sweet spots. First, life sciences, where we're turning Queen's University research into health and medical ventures, and where our proximity to top researchers means ideas move from the lab to market faster than they would almost anywhere else. Second, sustainability or sustainable manufacturing, where companies like Cyclic Material, the company I was sharing with you earlier, are showing what their industry can look like, recovering critical minerals that the global clean energy transition absolutely depends on. And last but not least, health innovation, more broadly anchored by Helix, one of our programs which connects researchers and startups under one roof. What makes these sectors work for a city of our size isn't exactly scale, it's overlap. The same people show up across all 3, and that proximity is the advantage. These are the spaces where small, tightly connected ecosystems actually move faster than a large one. And our path forward is extremely simple. We're doubling down on research to venture pipelines, making sure breakthroughs at our universities leave the lab as companies, not just published papers. We're continuing to invest in co-working and flexible workspaces because in a post-pandemic world, talent moves to wherever the best quality of life is. And our biggest challenge is also our biggest opportunity, keeping the brilliant graduates of Queen's University, St. Lawrence College, and Royal Military College of Canada's building their companies here in Kingston rather than exporting them up the highway to Toronto or Ottawa. Now, joining the Startup Link community is part of the next chapter for us. We've been with Startup Link for quite a while now, but we want to build stronger bridges to the global ecosystem, to founders, to capital, to ideas. And being here today is all just the start of that. Small ecosystems can be loud, they can be deeply collaborative, and they can produce companies that do really matter globally. So if you're working in clean tech, critical materials, or health innovation, please come visit and come build with us. Thank you all so much.
Thank you so much, Josh. I also want to say a quick word, just like I said about Cali. Kingston is, in this case, really punching above its weight. A very, it's not a large city, but such high quality. And I have to say that, just like Josh said, Kingston is interested in startup ecosystem development for many, many years. We're talking. I still remember, Josh, you probably don't know David Inman, I think he's Nathani now. So he sent us an email only when Kingston had about 3 or 4 entities, and he said he rolled up his sleeve. He said, "Let me work on the data." So I have so much more. So yeah, I mean, it's an ecosystem of people that are very ambitious and are achieving great things. So thank you so much for arriving.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Josh, and lovely to hear about Kingston as always. It's very inspiring ecosystem. We'll be staying in the Americas, but we're going now back to Colombia, hearing more about the Medellin startup ecosystem from Santiago Henao, who is the Business Development Director at Ruta N. While we're promoting Santiago, some new insights about Medellin this year. It joins the global top 130 for the first time, and it has the fastest ecosystem growth in LATAM's top 10. Okay. So hi, Santiago. It's lovely to see you again. How are you?
Hi, Catherine. I'm fine, and nice to see you again. Hello, everyone. On behalf of the Medellin District of Science, Technology, and Innovation, it is an honor to share this space again with the global startup ecosystem community. I'm here to give some context to recent numbers because the story behind them matters. Since 2024, Startup Link has recognized Medellin twice. First, as best ecosystem growth in South America, acknowledging our institutional recovery and a stronger collaboration across the ecosystem. Then, in November 2025, as fastest growing ecosystem in Colombia. This second recognition came as a result of a truly collective effort. Universities, the Chamber of Commerce, corporate associations, ASANDI, the tripartite committee of universities, corporates, and government called GUE, the mayor's office, and Ruta N, of course, all aligned around a shared science, technology, and innovation plan for the next year for the innovation district, a roadmap to keep strengthening our ecosystem and climb this global ranking. This recognition don't belong to Medellin alone. They reflect a broader effort with Cali, congrats Cali, Bogota, and all of Colombia to establish our country as a leading tech hub in Latin America. Let me walk you through 5 pillars shaping our ecosystem right now. First, on capital, led by Ruta N, our Medellin venture capital strategy unlocked over $20 million last year to sustain innovation amid a global contraction in early stage funding, activating new vehicles that is training our early stage ecosystem precisely when it needed the most. On talent, artificial intelligence has moved beyond experimentation, facing a projected shortage of more than 130,000 tech professionals in Colombia by 2030. Our startups are deploying AI and low-code, no-code architectures to scale operations without scaling costs, turning a structural challenge into a competitive advantage. On business models, the ecosystem has matured. We have shifted from generic B2C apps to high-value B2B software as a service solution, capitalizing on Colombia's growing positioning as a nearshore destination to reach international markets with greater purchasing power. We are improving as well in quantity. We overtake 700 tech startups, becoming the city in Latam with the greatest startup density as a startup per capita, and also in quality with each year with more scale-ups and more capital raised. On specializations, Medellin holds real competitive advantages, energy, health, and fintech, and our startups are building on them. In fintech alone, we are seeing 48% year-over-year growth in digital lending, surpassing 3.1 billion in 2024, driven by the Breve instant payment system and the Open Finance Decree, a regulatory framework already attracting significant foreign capital. On sustainability, local startups are pioneering climate tech using blockchain to tokenize environmental assets and help companies meet their carbon commitments, a high-margin niche with growing appeal among green investment funds. Now, one initiative I want to highlight is Startia that you are seeing right now. You can go to startia.com.co. What we have announced last year is now a reality. In less than 3 months, Startia has mapped and validated ecosystem data, including much of what powers this very ranking, while enabling hundreds of value connections between ecosystem actors. Investments, sales, and partnerships already generated tangible impact. We don't see this historic position of Medellin in the ranking as a destination. We see it as a motivation to keep improving conditions and capabilities for founders, investors, and ecosystem builders across the entire region. I want to thank Startup Link for being a great partner and for making ecosystem visible worldwide. And I want to
I think we had some technical issues with Santiago, but I mean, it's lovely that at least that we heard more about the ecosystem before.
I'll just jump in. It gives me an opportunity to tell the crowd a little bit about Medellin. It's Latin America, basically, usually, especially South America, it has the capital cities and then the secondary cities in very, very big distance from all the capital cities. Medellin is very interesting because it's actually a leading city, although it's not a capital city. It is ranked above some capital cities like Lima, Montevideo, and so on. What was built there is actually very, very inspiring. So we're always this is a beautiful example of how a city that is not necessarily the economic center of the country can actually get as close as possible to become a regional champion. And I think Santiago is back, so we can jump to him. So yeah, Santiago, please continue.
No, I don't know to which part, but I want to thank Startup Link for being a great partner and for making the ecosystem visible worldwide. And I want to congratulate my colleagues and all the ecosystem growing alongside us, especially those from Colombia and Latin America that helped us improve the collaboration. More than a zero national ecosystem, we consider ourselves part of a global ecosystem. It will be possible to be here with you. So Medellin doesn't compete alone, and it doesn't improvise. It competes with data and strategy and with an ecosystem built collectively over more than 20 years. Thank you so much.
Yes, Santiago, really great work that you do in Ruta N. It's I also have to say the organization itself is very, very interesting on how the city is dedicated to build an ecosystem, just like in Cali, but Medellin is really aiming to become a regional and a global champion. So it's very interesting to see what you've managed to build in Medellin. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Lai. You're welcome to Medellin and go to Starter to know more about the ecosystem.
Muy
Thanks.
pronto. Voy a venir. Gracias.
Great. Thank you so much, Santiago, and thank you, Ellie. So now you will be moving on to North America. We'll be hearing more about the Los Angeles area startup ecosystem. We'll be hearing from Alessandro Marianantoni, who is the managing director at M Accelerator by M Venture Studio. Some insights from Los Angeles area. It is currently number 3 in the US and number 4 in the world. And it's number 1 in aerospace sub-industry in the world. So welcome, Alessandro. Thank you for joining us. I know it's quite early, so thank you for taking the time.
Hello, everyone, and thanks for inviting us. Always a pleasure. When the world hears about Los Angeles, it thinks Hollywood. I'm here to tell you a different LA, the LA that doesn't make it into the movies, the world's most internationally connected innovation ecosystem, and the only one built on 6 distinct hubs, not once. I'm Alessandro Marianantoni, founder of M Venture Studio in Los Angeles, 13 exits, 2 IPOs across AI, aerospace, enterprise, and consumer. And going to share here. This year, Los Angeles ranks 4th globally, plus 9.5% annual growth. In 5 years, we have climbed from 10th place to 4th, more than 6,000 active startups, top 3 and top 4 globally in e-commerce, hardware, transportation, and consumer. And the 6 hubs, Los Angeles is not one ecosystem. It's a federation of 6 specialized hubs. Silicon Beach with consumer and AI, El Segundo, aerospace and defense, Pasadena with deep tech and quantum, downtown Los Angeles, fintech and enterprise, Westwood, UCLA, University of California, Los Angeles, biotech and AI research, Culver City with entertainment technology. This is why Los Angeles keeps growing through every cycle. When hub cools, another one hits. Together, more than $100 billion in tech sector output. What is the momentum? It's definitely around AI, $2.1 billion raised last year, 2nd in the United States for AI funding, 4th largest AI talent hub in North America. Aerospace and defense, Anduril, $61 billion valuation. The raise just closed 6 days ago. And then we have deep tech and quantum. The largest qubit array ever assembled, 6,100 atoms, was built at Caltech here in Pasadena. The AWS Center for Quantum Computing sits on the Caltech campus. Within a 20-mile radius, we have Caltech, ranked 15th in the world, UCLA, the second public university in the United States, USC with 7,000 international students from over 100 countries. The University of California system alone won 5 Nobel Prizes this year, a world record, and actually had the privilege of working with one of them. And then we close with biotech, $60 billion in output, 4,000 companies and 200,000 jobs. It's a city built by immigrants. The biggest software IPO in LA history closed in 2024. ServiceTitan, $8.9 billion market cap, 42% first day pop on NASDAQ. About the two founders, one was born in Tehran during Iran-Iraq war, the other in a Soviet Armenia. Their families landed to Los Angeles. They built ServiceTitan from Glendale, a small town just outside of LA Metro. And this is what internationally it looks like in Los Angeles, not just having visitors, but builders. So how do we do this? It's maybe less known part of Los Angeles, but one of 3 Angelinos was born outside of the United States. 1 in 2 speaks a language other than English at home. The top 5 languages spoken at home in Los Angeles are Spanish, Korean, Armenian, Chinese, and Persian. The port of Los Angeles and Long Beach move almost 1/3 of the US container trade. And 2028, we host the Olympics. 18 billion in economic impact, 15 million visitors, 20 billion in transit investment. And to the founders that are watching outside of the United States, Los Angeles is the softest US landing path in the world. Same gateway, 6 different sectors. 1 of 3 of us was born somewhere else. And to the investors and ecosystem partners, MVenture Studio is open. Find us. We build the studio Greek companies, and we build international startups into the United States through Los Angeles. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Alessandro. I just want to say something about Los Angeles because it's exactly what you said when you started. Not many people know how good is the ecosystem. And we're talking about the 4th best startup ecosystem in the world. I also want to say that it has great momentum as well. Back in 2020, Boston was ranked above it. Los Angeles was 5th. Now Los Angeles is 4th. It has about 30% gap of total score from Boston, and it's getting closer to number 3, to London. So actually, I think exactly what you said. Everyone is speaking Hollywood, but they don't understand that really Los Angeles is a global giant of startups. So whatever you do there, keep up the good work, and thank you so much for arriving.
Thank you, David.
Thank you so much again, Alessandro. It's amazing
Thank you,
to hear
Catherine.
more about the ecosystem. Great. So now we will be moving to the next startup ecosystem, Brazil. We will be hearing from Valdir Assis from CNI. While Valdir is getting promoted, some insights about Brazil. It is currently number 1 in Latin America as a country. It has 32 cities, a lot of cities in the global top 1,000, and it's currently number 13 in AgTech. So hi, Valdir, welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Hi, Catherine. Hi, everyone. Greetings from Brazil. Hi, Catherine. Hi, everyone. Greetings from Brazil. Yeah. Firstly, I'd like to talk about CNI. Yeah. Please, can you go to the next slide? Yeah. It's important for us to inform that CNI is the National Industry Confederation. is Brazil leading representative organization for the industry sector. Yeah, CNI oversee key institution. Yeah, Industrial Social Service, that we call it SESI, National Service of Industry Training, SENAI, Evaldo Lodge Institute, EL. So these organizations together, they form the Brazilian industry system. Yeah. So the Brazilian industry system acts as a vital link with the government grants. Yeah. Represents 27 state federations, more than 1,000 trade unions, and encompassing nearly 700,000 industry. Yeah. So, which are the contribution to the industry? Yeah. So CNI and the Brazilian industry system promotes national discussions on the critical economic issues. Yeah. Supports initiatives for developing workers, and also foster research and innovation. So regarding startup, our partnership with Startup Blink is very crucial to us, yeah, because Startup Blink help us to find what are the Brazilian startup and what they can offer for the Brazilian industries. So talking about the results, yeah, is if immense pride that you celebrate today. That's the fact that Brazil has been officially recognized that the best startup ecosystem in Latin America. Yeah, this prestigious award granted by Startup Blink, one of the world's leading research platform for innovation ecosystem, or present to Confederação Nacional da Indústria. Yeah, for 7 consecutive years, you have held a number of positions in Latin America. Yeah, a testament of strength, resilience, and talent of our entrepreneur building the future. Yeah. On the global stage, we rank in the 26th position among 120 countries. Yeah, remarkable activity that places us firmly in the world map of innovation. Yeah. Also, we have 32 cities ranking in the top 1,000 cities, more than the next 2 Latin American countries combined. Yeah. What makes this truly exceptional is how growth is spreading beyond traditional hubs. Yeah, it's important to say that nearly 70% of the Brazilian cities climbing in the global ranking this year. Yeah, São Paulo, our main cities, rank 24th, 40th position, and number 1 in Latin America. Yeah, Rio de Janeiro rose the 9th place, and Florianópolis recorded impressive 57% increase. Yeah, it's also important to say that Brazil excel in strategic sectors. Yeah, the 80th position globally in clean energy. Yeah, the 13th position in EdTech, and the 19th position in both FinTech and EdTech. Yeah, this is the result that reflects our natural strength of commitment to impactful innovation. Yeah. So these results are the celebration of every idea, yeah, every investment, and every talent in building a more innovative Brazil. Yeah. So what I need to say that we are going to use this recognition as inspiration to continue to innovate, to grow and lead. And my final task, I invite everyone to scan the QR code that you see to know these amazing Brazilian startups. Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Valdir. I think that I think CNI is greatly helping Brazil to become now a modern winner of the global economy, which I think is very good to see how much Brazil is focused on this transition of actually becoming this champion of innovation. The results are outstanding. Sao Paulo is by far the highest ranked city in Latam, but we see so many, just like Catherine said, there are dozens of other cities that we celebrate in this report. And thank you so much, and to CNI for the work that you do. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Valdir. Now we will be moving to our next ecosystem. We will be going to Asia, and we'll be hearing more about the Ho Chi Minh startup ecosystem from Jimmy Trin, who is the International Collaboration Division of Sci-Hub. While we are promoting Jimmy, some key insights for this year for Ho Chi Minh. Ho Chi Minh entered the global top 100 city for the first time this year. It is currently number 5 in Southeast Asia, number 2 in ecosystem maturity in Southeast Asia as well. So hi, Jimmy, welcome. Thank you for joining us. I know it's quite late.
Hi, Catherine. Can you hear me?
Yes, we hear you, but we don't see you yet.
Yes, sorry. Yes.
Yes, perfect.
Good. Yeah. Good evening, everyone. Yeah. Thank you so much for having us for this online meeting today. So I'm Jimmy from Vietnam and from the Startup and Innovation Hub of Ho Chi Minh City. You can call us the C-Hub, and our organization is based on Department of the Science and Technologies of Ho Chi Minh City. So now, please allow me to introduce about our startup and innovation community in Ho Chi Minh City. So today, I'm very happy to announce that our position is improved into the 98th. Yeah, so when we introduced with Mr. Ali, when he visited us last year, the position is at 110. So now we very happy to announce our position improved to 98. And globally and in the Southeast Asia, we are in the top 5, the most dynamic startup and the innovation the community. And Ho Chi Minh City, the startup and innovation, the communities, the attracting about 50% of the nation, the startups, and about 40% of the incubators and the support hubs, and about 44% of the country's investment capital, and more than 60% of the investment due nationwide. And here is the new building we launched from the August last year, and we were excited to receive the new building because we have the bigger space and for our startup and innovation community. And for this building, we are collaborating with the domestic and international partner to organize the various the activities like the exhibition, like the startup exchange, the event and seminar and conference trainings, the program in this building for the startup and the innovation community. When we receive this building, we have the co-working space for the incubating the potential startup. And from the end of last year, we have the totally 6 program for electing the startup for incubation program. And for this building, from the fourth, fifth, and seventh floor, we are attracting the startup supporting organization, not only domestic but also international, the partner, and we can collaborate together and support to the venue. And when the partner moving here for working, they can connect directly with the startup entrepreneur, the community directly. Yeah. So so the next slide, please. And regarding the policies, we are the Ho Chi Minh City, the local government chose the C-Hub is one of the organizations to support for the startup and innovation communities in Ho Chi Minh City, and we are operating based on the local policies, and particularly in the resolution, the number 98, and we can pilot things and the realities, the policy for the startup and the innovation community, such as the non-repayable financial assistance and tech breaks, and the exemption or reduction the tech for our technologies, the companies and the startup. and especially Ho Chi Minh City is applying the sandbox for the drone and the fintechs. And we also received the special, the referential, the treatment from the central, the government. And furthermore, in the city, Ho Chi Minh City also have the recent implemented the policies aimed to promoting the commercialization by renting the property price and establish the public and private the venture capital fund with the 40% from the capitals government public capital and 60% investment by the private investor. And based on our experience, based on our existing activities, so now the Startup and Innovation Hub of Ho Chi Minh City, we are continuously to promoting the international cooperation and focus on the key sectors and like the AI, new technologies, the financial technologies, and fintech. And we also aligning the international cooperation with the cities, the specific mechanisms and policies. And we build the image of Ho Chi Minh City as the home of innovation, and we try to contribute for our global the startup community. And with the commitment is one of the potential and the dynamic the next and hope for the not only Vietnamese the startup but also the global the startup when they come to the Vietnam. Yes, for these some the information you can remember about the Ho Chi Minh City, the startup and innovation communities. And once again, thank you so much, Starlink. Thank you for having us today. And we hope that we can foster into the collaborate with Startup Link deeper and with our global startup supporting the ecosystem. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jimmy. Xin cảm ơn. Xin chào.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Good to
Nice
see
to
you.
meet you again, Ali.
Same. I hope to visit you also. I'll just tell everyone, Ho Chi Minh City, I travel there every year. You just see a lot of people in coffee shops with laptop. Everyone is building a startup. It's not only one of the fastest growing economies in the world, it's also the startup ecosystem there is really, really full of energy. One of my favorite startup ecosystems in the world. Really great to see that it made it to the top 100. I think it's well deserved. And thank you so much for your work, Jimmy. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yes.
Okay. Thank you again, Jimmy, and thank you for sharing to us about Ho Chi Minh. So now we will move on to our next ecosystem. We're traveling back to Europe, and we will be hearing more about Oradea, Romania, from David Achim, who is the Executive Director at Make It in Oradea. Some key insights for our Oradea this year. It is the fastest growing city in Romania. It increased by 137 spots, and it's now number 13 in the Balkans. Hi, David. Welcome. Thank you for joining us today.
Hi, Katrin. Can you hear me?
Yes, we hear you and we see your screen as well.
Just 1 second, because I can't hear you.
Do you hear me now?
Okay. Thank you very much for the invitation. So hello, everyone. I'm David. I'm the Executive Director of Make IT in Oradea, and also part of the Row Startup Association as a board member, which is the Startup Ecosystem Association in Romania. And our city is located western to Romania. When I heard the previous speaker from Kingston, Canada, mentioning that they are between 3 bigger hubs, I related completely, because Oradea is actually positioned very similarly in Romania between 3 bigger hubs like Timișoara, Cluj-Napoca, and also Budapest. And even though we are a smaller city in Romania, we are full of ambition and energy. There are more than 40 nationalities in Oradea, living in Oradea, so a pretty global audience. We also have a strong growth population and a lot of tourists. When it comes to investments, the private investment in the system, in the ecosystem in general, the business ecosystem in general has accelerated a lot in the last 5 to 10 years, with more than 1.3 billion euros investments. And also the public sector attracted more than 1.2 billion euros from European funds and other sources in order to develop and grow the local business infrastructure, also when anything regarding to hospital and public services. So it's a pretty vibrant city and also renewed city in Romania. When it comes to the startup ecosystem, Oradea has actually doubled the number of startups since 2020, when Make IT in Oradea, our association, has been born. And currently we have 28 startups in our ecosystem, which are active and also have revenue. Regarding the history, a bit of history about our ecosystem, the first startup was born in 1996, and it's a pretty interesting product that actually had the opportunity to be purchased by the US Department of Defense back then, and that inspired a generation after generation of founders. The ecosystem grew organically until 2020, when the local government had on their strategy the importance of growing the ecosystem and started to subsidize it and to fund it. When it comes to a couple of stories or the snapshot of the ecosystem, we have more than 500 startups in our 500 people working in these startups. We raised more than 20 million in the last 5 years, and more than 40 millions in annual recurring revenue coming through these startups. If I would have to mention a couple of stories, my three favorite startup stories from Oradea are Typing DNA, ZenAI OS, and Fiora 5, because they are building something super innovative. Typing DNA is the future of digital security. They are building a biometric authentication solution. ZenAI OS is building an AI solution for hospital management. And Fiora 5 is designing low-power CPUs. We are also one of the city in Romania with most founders per capita, or most startups per capita, and we are also the highest growing city since also 2 years ago. That was also rewarded by Startup Link. So as I said, full of energy, full of ambition, a vibrant ecosystem. Our mission is to accelerate it, and we have 3 main pillars. We have support programs for startups like Bright Labs. We have different initiatives and contexts for tech enthusiasts to learn and connect, like hackathons, startup weekend, and community meetups. And also we have a physical location, which is unique. It's inside a 1,000 years old fortress. We have a co-working space and other facilities for startups. There are 3 main sectors in which we want to develop more in the coming years. Airport infrastructure, because we have a strong partnership with the local airport here, and the startups can pilot their solutions very fast through this partnership. Energy infrastructure, and also hospitals infrastructure, because we already have a pretty successful story there and a great partnership with the local public hospitals. Our vision is to build solutions from Oradea, which is, yes, a small city, but can greatly impact the future of our entire continent. Thank you very much for this opportunity.
Thank you very much for joining us, David, and for telling us more about Oradea. It's always, you've already also mentioned you're growing a lot, and you've been the fastest growing for a couple of years. And, based on what you're saying, I think we will be expecting more growth in the coming years as well.
Thank you. Thank you, Catherine.
Thank you, David. So now we will move again to North America, where we will be hearing more about Calgary, Canada from Jordan Pinkster, who is the Director for External Relations and Communications at Platform Calgary. Calgary is number 5 in Canada, and it's also currently 40th in North America. We are seeing growth in the ecosystem. So hello, Jordan, how are you? Welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Wonderful. Thank you, Katrin. And thank you to our Startup Blink friends and colleagues for their support. I've lived in Calgary almost my entire life. I've seen us go from a city of about 800,000 people, largely dominated by a single industry, oil and gas, to now being a city of almost 2 million people and having tremendous economic diversity and a very healthy and growing tech ecosystem. Calgary's reputation has always been as the economic engine of Canada. We've brought a lot of innovation into traditional sectors, whether that be the oil and gas sector, where we've had a lot of presence for a number of decades now, or agriculture or other emerging sectors that are coming up. Calgary has a high concentration of capital, given these economic successes of the last number of decades. We have a very young and highly educated workforce, but most of all, it is a hub for entrepreneurship. People come from all over the world to Calgary to build something. The success of our ecosystem over the last number of years really comes from an alignment that we're seeing from government, from post-secondary institutions, from business leaders, and from key players in the ecosystem itself. In 2025, the Calgary Innovation Strategy was launched. The core function of the strategy is to establish Calgary as the innovation capital of Canada. The tactics within that strategy focus on building up sector-specific nodes across the city, whether it be aviation and aerospace, agriculture, biotech and healthcare, or our traditional roots in the clean tech and energy spaces. Platform Calgary plays a central role bringing that ecosystem together, connecting those nodes and providing core level infrastructure for the ecosystem to grow and scale. We are the stewards of a physical space within Calgary called the Platform Innovation Center, a 55,000 square foot purpose-built space in the middle of downtown Calgary. Since opening the facility in June of 2022, we've welcomed 376,000 visitors, and that has been growing significantly year over year. The folks that are visiting the facility include obviously entrepreneurs and founders, investors, business leaders, government officials, a very healthy rotation of people coming through our building every single day. Today, Platform Calgary represents a network of more than 950 member companies. Since 2022, we've had about 6,300 founders that have gone through our iterative programming to support them all the way from growth to scale. Of that 950 member companies, 403 of those companies didn't exist prior to 2022. So we are seeing a very impressive volume of companies that are just getting started. And of that membership base, 557 companies have scaled to 5 or more employees in that same time frame. So again, companies that are starting, but companies that are also gaining a tremendous amount of traction. Platform member companies have also raised more than $1 billion since 2018 in capital, 330 million of that alone in 2025. So at a time when we are seeing retraction and investment in other parts of Canada, Calgary continues to show up very strong in that conversation. We've also been recognized as a significant tech job market as well in recent years. The CBRE Tech Talent Report for 2 years in a row has identified Calgary at the highest growth rate at about 61% growth rate in jobs. That's about 24,500 jobs that Calgary has added in the tech space in the last 5 years. We have a lot of amazing momentum. Our ecosystem has been maturing in recent years, and we've seen very rapid growth in a very short period of time. We know that we're just getting started and that our economic fundamentals and the characteristics and livability of the city will continue to make us an attractive ecosystem for decades to come. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jordan. Thank you for sharing more about Calgary. Very excited to hear more about the ecosystem and looking forward to more progress in the coming years. Before we move to the next presenter, I'd like to introduce my colleague Alexandra, who will be continuing the introductions from now. Hi, Alexandra.
Hi, Catherine. Thank you. So to continue with the next presenter, we'll head back to Europe, more specifically to Ukraine, where we will hear more about the local startup ecosystem from Snezhana Sukhoroslava, I'm sorry for the mispronunciation, who is the Chief Operating Officer at Ecosystem. While we are promoting Snezhana, oh, she's here, my apologies. Here's some interesting information about the Ukrainian ecosystem based on Startup Blink's rankings. Ukraine ranks 7th in Central and Eastern Europe, has 5 cities in the global top 1,000, including 1 new city, and ranks 5th in blockchain and 3rd in web development in Eastern Europe. Snezhana, welcome and thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. I'm incredibly glad to be here. And hello, everyone. So yeah, Ukraine recorded 7% ecosystem growth this year, and we are proud to be one of the organizations that are building the Ukrainian ecosystem during the war. So let me show you what we are made of. How can I? Okay. So Ecosystem is not just a community. We're a structured ecosystem builder with 4 principles that are very important to us. And most important for us is neutrality and independence. So we are uniting ecosystem players to create a better business environment in Ukraine. Okay, can we? Okay. We work alongside every major player, accelerators, VCs, corporations, international partners, and every member passes the rigorous selection and ecosystem validation. So we stay independent. That's why people trust us. So we are uniting. I'm sorry. Okay, we just yeah, thank you. So this is what ecosystem looks like today. Our members today, startups, scale-ups, and investors, and 70% are product companies. We span 7 active verticals: defense tech, health tech, ed tech, HR tech, MarTech, energy and environment, and agri-tech. This is very curated portfolio. Every company here belongs. Okay. So what do members actually get with us? Business development through community, real cost savings, media support, and so on and so forth. So we have a lot for our members. Yeah. And what's really important, this is a number I love to share. In 2025 alone, our members saved almost $2 million in software and service costs. And that's the power of curated ecosystem, not just connections, but real capital efficiency. Okay. So we built something our members very love and care about. It's Brahma Hub. It's because we have investors in our community and we have startups in our community. We decided to connect them by this matchmaking instrument, AI powered. So the system analyzes startup profile and its targeted pitch, its direct access, full confidentiality. And actually, I would say it works because 90% of early stage deals in 2025 went through our VC members in Ukraine. So about our projects a little bit. Beyond community, we produce ecosystem intelligence that sets the standard for how Ukraine is understood globally. So we have our Ukrainian tech ecosystem overview that tracks nearly 3,000 product companies, and our top 100 Raising Ukrainian Startups report, reviewing 3,000 teams with 95 industry specialists. It's not a popularity contest, it's a rigorous ranking. And this year, in partnership with Forbes, we published the first large-scale accelerator study in Ukraine, 22 accelerators and 78 cohorts, almost $5 million in confirmed investment raised. We don't just build ecosystem, we document it, we measure it, we make it legible for the world. Next one is Ecosystem Defense. It's our defense tech cluster. Fastest growing, sadly, most strategically important track. The specialized cluster supports defense tech companies, drones, SIGINT, military software, helping them enter international markets, connect with military forces, the government, the investors. We are founding member of Ukrainian Council of Defense Industry and a member of the European Defense Alliance. Ukraine is the defense innovation laboratory for the world. We are at the door. Thank you. Ecosystem is central hub for the Ukrainian tech ecosystem. If you want to understand, invest in, or partner with the Ukrainian ecosystem, start with us. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Snezhana. Thank you for separating your time to be here, and we look forward to Ukraine's growth more and more in the upcoming years. Next, we are traveling to Ciudad Juárez in Mexico, where we will hear more about the local startup ecosystem from Brenda Holguin, who is the coordinator at Startup Juárez. While we are promoting her, while we get her on as a speaker, here are some interesting information about the Ciudad Juárez ecosystem based on Startup Link's rankings. The city ranks 12th in Central America, 11th in Central America for software and data, and is among the top 10 fastest growing Central American cities. Brenda, welcome, and it's a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you, Alexandra, for the introduction, and thank you for the space. I am Brenda Holguin, and we are here presenting today's Startup Juárez. The Startup Juárez exists to activate the innovation potential of Ciudad Juárez. We connect founders with mentorship programs, strategic allies, investors, and binational opportunities while bringing together all the startups, academia, industry, government, and ecosystem partners around one shared goal, helping science and technology and innovation-based ventures to emerge, grow, and scale from the border. At a time when Mexico's national startup ecosystem has experienced a 4-year decline, Ciudad Juárez is moving in the opposite direction, with 30.8% growth at a place among Mexico's top 10 startup cities. Juárez is showing that the border is not only a place of industry, but also a platform for innovation. Its binational position, manufacturing strength, and its shoring momentum and regional connectivity position the city as a strategic innovation for the Borderlands region. In the city, we have around 20 universities, a population of 1.5 million people, and most of them are economically active population. In our portfolio, we have 51 startups, and the main industries that we are attending are IT, health, and agricultural. The sub-industries that we attend are health tech and industrial tech, and most of our startups are using a SaaS model. A third of our startups already have sales. The user persona or the average entrepreneur in Ciudad Juárez is bilingual with an average of 12 years of work experience and a higher education, and he perceives potential in the ecosystem. But however, they are looking at some barriers to grow their initiatives and networking. Our main strength is the Mexico-US binational corridor and the special technical and operational talent. Also, we are working on an emerging strategic infrastructure, such as the Artificial Intelligence Center. One of our main opportunities is the advancement towards industrial automation and the nearshoring and relocation of value of chains. Own version of a hackathon with our own methodology that we curated, and we are starting to cultivate this next generation of innovators. This is huge for us because before this, at Ciudad Juárez, we had 0 hackathons, and since we have started operations, this is our 3rd year now, we now host over 6 hackathons a year. So this has been a great seed pool to get our talent from. Over these 3 years, we have mapped around 80 stakeholders, doing a geographic map of the ecosystem. We now have our database of the stakeholders, and we have been mapping how this relationship works between all the actors. And currently, the main priorities of the ecosystem are funding and visibility. I also want to take this space to give a huge shout out to all our sponsors and partners, and also to the team that is working at Startup Juarez, Abril, Chris, Manuel, Jesus, with the conjoint work that we all do, are able to support these startups that we have on our portfolio. And we are really grateful to be here and to share with you what we have been doing on our ecosystem. Ciudad Juarez is blooming as a great place to start building startups, particularly in AI and manufacturing and health tech. So we are looking forward to continue to grow. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Brenda, for your beautiful insights and for sharing additional information. Sticking to the beautiful Mexico, we next will hear more about the local startup ecosystem from Andres Guzman, who is the CEO of Startup Chihuahua. While we are promoting him as a speaker, here is also some interesting information about the Chihuahua ecosystem based on Startup Link's rankings. Chihuahua ranks 9th in Central America and is among the top 5 fastest growing Central American cities. Welcome, Andres, and it's a pleasure to have you here. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Do you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. My name is Andres Guzman. I'm representing the city of Chihuahua. As Brenda said, we are a beautiful state, the biggest state in Mexico, in the border within Texas and New Mexico. We are mostly focused on manufacturing, especially advanced manufacturing in aerospace, automotive, and some agricultural products. We have an average of 1 million people in our city. We are the capital city of Chihuahua, and we are looking to develop our ecosystem most rapidly. We have achieved some recognitions worldwide. The first one is to be the most innovative city and state in Mexico. And right now we are ranked at number 6 in Startup Blink. We are the mainly sporting region in Mexico. We have the average of sporting very high in the country. And we have achieved some good results with our startups in Startup World Cup. Actually, we are the sede of Mexico. Our history, it was born from corporate people of Chihuahua, from the SEC. Then we have a strategic plan called Chihuahua Futura, in which Startup Chihuahua started its journey. Initially with MIT RIP in 2022, and then Startup Chihuahua was born in December 2023. We are a backbone organization orchestrating all the actors in our region, aligning them to an agenda, to KPIs, and to a plan. We are looking to take this growth to other ecosystems in the world, especially intermediate cities in Latin America that are looking to have this same path through MIT RIP programs and several other initiatives as ours. Our 4 main KPIs for 2030. The first one is to have at least 250 startups in the region, to mobilize $100 million of venture capital, to help the city to have an impact of 5% of their GDP through startups and tech-based companies. And the fourth is to help the city to decrease at least 10% of the CO2 emissions. Right now, we have very good results in just 3 years. The first one is we have 170 startups in our portfolio. We have mobilized $60 million of venture capital. We have a very good impact in our regional GDP. And in 1 year, we achieved to reduce 10% of the CO2 emissions of the city. We have several initiatives in all the stages of entrepreneurships. Mexico Tech Week, it's the first edition, biggest tech week of LATAM. We have several programs of entrepreneurships in early stages, pre-incubation, incubation, and we have a lot of programs about investment readiness for helping our startups to have more venture capital in their cap tables. We have a lot of international partners. We are working very closely with the German government, with TechCrunch in Austin, with the William Davidson Institute of the University of Michigan, and working a lot with the Tecnológico de Monterrey worldwide. So as I said to you, I'm Andres Guzman. Here are all my information. You can contact me if you want to help your city, your intermediate city, to have the same path as Chihuahua has. And thank you very much for the opportunity. And this is Chihuahua. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Andres. Thank you for separating the time. And also, as I previously mentioned to Brenda, we look forward to Mexico's success and its cities. Now, moving on to Enugu, Nigeria. We will hear more about the local startup ecosystem from Arinze Chilo Ofia, Special Advisor to the Governor of Enugu State on Digital Economy and MCMEs, and Managing Director and CEO of the Enugu MCME and Startup Agency. While we are promoting Arinze as a speaker, here is some interesting information about the Enugu ecosystem based on Startup Blink's rankings. Enugu is the fastest growing Nigerian city in the global top 1,000 and ranks 9th in Western Africa. Arinze, we're sending you a proposal to be a panelist. If you could please accept that so you can share your presentation. I can see that you're here now. Can you hear us well?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, now it's good.
Okay, so thank you for having me here, and slight apologies. I inadvertently didn't have a deck ready on time. I didn't read too much into the details of the email. I just thought it would be more of a speaking engagement. So I really want to apologize for that. I hope that's okay.
Yeah, no worries at all. We're happy to hear more about Enugu. And I think even without the presentation, I'm sure you'll be able to give us a lot of insights.
I really appreciate that. So as you can see, I'm in a car, actually heading to a meeting at Government House. So I hope that will be fine. Can you guys see me? Is the camera still okay?
Yes, we see you now. Yeah.
Okay. Just trying to look at my speech.
But we don't see you anymore. And yeah.
Oh wow. Okay. Okay, so thank you everyone for having me. My name is Arinze Chilo Ofia. I'm the Special Advisor to the Governor of Enugu State. Special Advisor to the Governor of Enugu State on digital economy and MSMEs. I also serve as the MD CEO of the Enugu MSME and Startup Agency. So we've done a lot in the last couple of years since this current administration came into play, and it's my absolute pleasure to speak to you today about what we are building in Enugu State, Nigeria, and what we believe Enugu is emerging as one of the most strategically positioned innovation ecosystems in Africa. I'm pleased to share that Enugu demonstrated strong momentum in the 2026 Global Startup Ranking Index. I'm ranking 714th globally. For us, this is a very, very important external validation that the ecosystem architecture that we're building is beginning to gain measurable and international visibility. We're also ranked 4th in Africa, China, Nigeria. I think Nigeria is ranked 67, going up at least, I think 12 places. But beyond our rankings, our focus is on building a long-term innovation economy. And we started from a very clear premise, where the future of the region is increasingly dependent on the aggregation of talents, deployment of digital infrastructure, and commercialization. Innovation, where we can use that to attract capital. Global economies under the current leadership of the governor, His Excellency Dr. Peter Ndubisi. One of our strongest structural advantages are talent density. Enugu has the second largest concentration of tertiary institutions in Nigeria. We have about 40 tertiary institutions in the states. This gives us one of the deepest pools of young talents, technical manpower, research capacity, and future founders in the country. We have universities, polytechnics, college of education, technical institutions, nursing schools, and higher institutions, producing thousands. Concentration of talent should not simply feed traditional-based economy. Institutional structure, innovation, infrastructure, and talent commercialization. At the institutional level, the Enugu State government, we recently passed the Enugu MSME and Startup Agency Law, creating a formal governance and implementation framework for small MSMEs development, startup growth, innovation coordination, and ecosystem management. Importantly, the domestication of the Nigerian Startup Bill for the Enugu Startup Bill was operationally domiciled within this agency, giving it the right framework to ensure implementation continuity and policy coordinations. Because one of the major problems across many emerging ecosystems is the startup policy, is that startup policy exists without an operational delivery structure. This is what made sure that we have the agency that is implementing on this. On the infrastructure side, we're developing the broader Enugu tech and innovation ecosystem to act as a coordinated platform rather than a single innovation center. So firstly, I want to talk about some of the key projects that we're doing. We're creating the first AI institute in Nigeria. It's going to be acted as we have a faculty there called the Digital Bridge Institute that is being converted into this. So it's going to be a center for research, digital skills, startup commercialization. And this campus will focus strictly around artificial intelligence, machine learning, cybersecurity, data science, and emerging technologies. We've just recently received presidential approval for this project. And within 12 months, this project will be launched. It's a massive sprawling campus in the heart of the city. And it'll be great to have some of the partners here and Startup Blink there. We also have a program we call the Enugu Talent City, which is designed as some large-scale business process outsourcing and knowledge-based outsourcing ecosystems, capable of positioning Enugu as a major African hub for digital services, remote work, infrastructure, AI-enabled operations, and knowledge exports. At the center of this strategy is the transformation of our industrial park. This is a massive facility, about 2.7 hectares facility, into a high-value knowledge process ecosystem anchored by the Nigerian Data Exchange Facility, which would be domiciled in in that KPO. So that's something very exciting. We just recently partnered with the Southeast Development Commission to support us with project preparation funds to ensure bankability of this project. And we have a lot of key interest from development partners and debt providers to provide the funding to ensure that we deliver on this project within the next 8 months. Again, this is something I would love for the Startup Blink, their team, to be present in this as well. One of the other key things that we're doing from a talent development standpoint is through something that we call digital skills enhancement zones. We're setting up one in every local government. We have 17 local governments in the States. So this is a facility that has 500 all-in-one systems, 24 hours light, Starlinks for continuous upskilling and training. Because like I mentioned, we want to ensure that we focus on what our competitive advantage is, which is the talents, and how we provide them with skills and opportunities to make money, and opportunities to make money through outsourcing of their services. If I'm given more time, I could keep going on and on. We have a number of initiatives. We're also setting up, we're going to launch our industrial park, our Enugu Tech and Innovation Park, which is a Noskin concept. We are, following the same framework as what they have in Kigali. They've, the Noskin houses, they support ecosystems with their concepts, which they've given us. And that facility will soon be ready. But we're pushing for this facility to be officially recognized as their West African campus. And they are keen on partnering with us on this. We've had the GM of the Noskin 22, which is their venture fund, come and take interest in this location, as well as the ambassador to Sweden. And we've had conversations with the founder of Klarna, and he has some significant interest here. So we're quite hopeful. We have an international airport, so we believe this would be something that represents, a different ecosystem outside of Lagos, outside of Abuja, that is talent focused. I'm just going to say thank you very much for having me here. I think my time is short, but I really appreciate what Startup Blink is doing. I've been a fond follower of your platform for the last 3 years, and I'm looking forward to having structured engagements with Startup Blink. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Arinze. Thank you for taking the time. Now we are moving back to Europe, more concretely Santa Cruz de Tenerife in Spain, where we will hear more about the local startup ecosystem from Jamie Cavero, who is the CEO of Mentor Day. While we have him here are some interesting information from Startup Blink's rankings. Santa Cruz de Tenerife ranks 13th in Spain and 9th in Spain in social and leisure. Jamie, welcome, and it's a pleasure to have you here, and the floor is yours.
Thank you very much to invite us to share our small paradise. I'm trying to share my presentation. Let me check. Here it's coming. Okay, I think it's okay. It's in the picture.
Yes, we can see it.
Thank you. We are just here. I am speaking from this small island that is just here in the ocean between Africa. We are very close to Africa, between Latin, Africa, and Europe, and it's a perfect place to grow to these 3 continental areas for the startups. I am Jaime Cavero. I am founder of Mentor Day. I have been creating companies since more than 30 years ago, and now I dedicate all my time to help another founders to build and grow with successful their business. No, what is Mentor Day? Mentor Day is a non-profit company. It's a non-profit private, and it's completely independent. And we have created a program that runs every month. We born as a corporate social responsibility of the group Directo. Directo are the companies that I have created in the past, and now we share our benefits with Mentor Day in order to guarantee the viability. We invest in startups through Draper V1, it's a global venture network, and also by Archipelagones, is another venture company that is radicated in Canary Island. Now, in Mentor Day, we are more than 1,200 volunteers that works as mentors, investors, experts, and all of us, we work for free in order to help entrepreneurs. This is our impact that we have created in the last 15 years that we have been in this program that I am going to speak about. We have created 3,000 companies. We have accelerated 3,000 companies in 40 countries. These companies has created 9,000 jobs, and this is our dream, to create quality jobs in specialized in areas where this is more necessary. And now we have in Mentor Day 1,000 mentors accredited. We have a special accredited for people that want to help and to go with startups, and we have a methodology, and we share this methodology with a lot of people. Now 1,000 are already accredited, and also 7,000 experts are in our mentor advisory. It's a tool that we share with all our startups. Now we reached the first in Spain as Funcas ranking. Also in Google, we have the most reviews, more valorated by the entrepreneurs, and we are in the top 5 in the world in Hobby Global. Why Canary Island? Because we have a very strategic position to go to Africa, Latin, and Europe, and is the cheapest way to go to this area to grow. Why is the cheapest? Because first of all, it's very cheap to live here. A lot of digital nomads are here. It's famous because we have the best climate in the world. And now in this 7 Ireland, we are living 2 million of residents with a lot of benefits. Europe allows us to have the lowest taxation in the startups, in the new company. For instance, the corporate tax that normally is 25%, in Canary is only 4%. Or value-added tax here in Canary Island is only 6.5%, is much lower. So we pay lowest taxes because Europe allows us these benefits because we are very far from the mainland. At the same time, we have the highest funding and incentives. For instance, if you invest in Canary Island, government put grant in your project, reaching the 80% of the money that you spend there. That is highest. Also, we have the highest tax deduction for the innovation. What is the mentor helps? How we help our startups? We try to help in all the steps that you need to grow in these 3 continents. First of all, we unlock all the benefits that are in Canary Island, taxes, financial. At the same time, we facilitate all the contacts with the local administration. And we have every month, we start a new soft landing program. In this soft landing program, there is 3 steps. In the first step, we try to adapt your model to the needs that are in Europe, Africa, and Latin. In the second step, we help you to plan your roadmap. And in the third step, we choose one mentor to go with you during 1 year, trying to put this roadmap in execution. That with these 3 steps, now we have created and imposed 3,000 of companies. Now we are 1,200 volunteers. Each month we celebrate an investor day with all the investors that are active. We have a special tool that we choose for each startup who is the best investor, depending of all the project, the phase, the area. And monthly, we put together in a networking event, we put a connection, we make connection with all the founders, mentors, and all the ecosystem that surround the mentor training. So if you want to establish your startup and to grow in one of these continents, we give for free, completely free and online this soft landing program that is open just now. And in this date, you can contact, or also if you want contact with me, this is my email or mobile, and we will be very happy to go with you and try to create jobs, not only in Canary Island, in the place where you are established. And thank you very much for inviting us and to share this dream.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to share the dream with you. Thank you, Jamie, for separating the time to be with us here today. Now going to South America, more concretely to Cordoba, Argentina, where we will hear more about the local startup ecosystem from Hernan Perin, who is the General Director of GovTech of the Secretariat of Smart City and Digital Transformation. Also, he will be joined by Marcela Nicolaides, who is the Director of Knowledge and Economy, and Lourdes Alvarez, who is the Innovab Coordinator representing CoreLab. Also, Cordoba is number 2 in Argentina and is ranked 5th in PropTech in South America. Welcome, and the floor is yours. And please keep in mind that the presentations should be 5 minutes long. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you for welcoming us today. Can you all see my presentation?
Yes.
Yes.
Wonderful. Today I'm here to represent CoreLab, the public laboratory and GovTech from the city of Córdoba, from the Secretariat of Smart City and Digital Transformation. We are a public laboratory, and I'm also joined by the General GovTech Director, Hernan Perin, and the Director of Knowledge Economy, Marcela, who are today with me, but they cannot share the presentation, so I'm going to represent them. First, I wanted to talk a little bit about what is CoreLab and what we do, what is our mission. We try to contribute to the development of a smarter, more inclusive and sustainable city, especially through the investment and the implementation of innovative solutions that are developed by local startups with high impact solutions. For this, we work across all areas of the municipality, of the local government, and the GovTech ecosystem, trying to join forces and collaborate in order to use these specific and innovative solutions in different public problems. This is the core idea and mission of CoreLab. A little bit about Córdoba, Argentina, not to be confused with Córdoba, Spain. We are currently ranked as 228th globally. We are in the 1000 rank in, of course, the global ecosystem, according to Startup Link. We are the 13th ranked city in South America, and the 2nd in Argentina, only after Buenos Aires, which, as you may know, is the capital city of our country. We have had a slight decline from 2025, but we have experienced a great growth rate between 2025 and 2026, as you can see, of 9.4% of growth. To understand a little bit about Córdoba and how the startup ecosystem works here, we are, as I mentioned, the 2nd largest city in Argentina, only after Buenos Aires, with 1.5 million residents currently living in our city, which extends to over 2 million people in all the metropolitan area. A key defining feature of Córdoba, it is the first national university of Argentina was founded here in 1613, and today we have over 14 universities that provide free tuition to over 250,000 students every year. This means that a lot of young talent comes every year to our city, and they bring this talent with them, these new ideas, promoting this growing tech hub in our city. This is only fostered by the public-private collaboration that we have been fostering through the years, that is in alliance with investigation centers, the academic sector, of course, startups, and the public sector that work together in order to promote the growth of these startups. In order to understand our ecosystem, we try to measure it every year. And for this, we developed the Córdoba Startup Monitor, which is a local census that helps us understand what our startups need, where they are, and where they have to go. A little bit about the Córdoba Startup Monitor. We have identified over 334 technology-based enterprises only last year. That was almost 40 more than 2024. We are currently developing the Startup Monitor for this year, and we already expect that there will be more startups added to this monitor. All in all, we have identified over 950 founders, which are mostly men, but we have seen a slight growth in the participation of women in the foundation of new startups. This is key to our programs and to our policies, and we expect to continue to promote the participation of women in the tech ecosystem. And all in all, we have over 4,000 people working at startups, as Jaime mentioned before. Creating valuable jobs and quality jobs is fundamental for the ecosystem to continue to thrive. Next slide. These are some key variables that I wanted to show you today. You can see that the average annual revenue of the startups has almost doubled from 2020 to 2025. This is a key aspect for us. We can see that the startup ecosystem is continuing to grow and is continuing to attract investments and new capital to the city. A percentage of startups that have raised capital has also maintained its rate, so that is good news for us. And we have seen a slow but steady increase of startups that are exporting, with almost 40% of startups in exporting our services and our products to the whole world. I wanted to mention just briefly that we have a key program in Corlab, which is the Smart City Fund. It is the first GovTech public fund of Latin America, and it is trying to invest in high-impact startups that are aiming to solve public problems. For this, we, of course, invest in these startups, and we also try to implement their solutions here in our city. This also works, of course, as a soft landing program. So if any startups are interested in maybe applying for future calls, then the call is for everyone. Thank you very much. I hope you can follow us in our social media so you can keep up with future programs and with the progress of Corlab. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for appreciating our time. We appreciate your time as well. Thank you for taking the time, and we look forward to Argentina's progress, especially Cordoba's progress in the near future. Last but not least, we're going back to Europe, and we now have Albania, where we will hear more about the local startup ecosystem from Suzy Lazebau, who is the head of startup ecosystem and facilitators at Innovation for Albania Agency, representing Startup Albania. While we have her now as a speaker, here are some interesting information about the Albanian ecosystem based on Startup Blink's rankings. Albania rose 8 places to 75th globally, ranks 4th in ecosystem growth in Europe, and 8th in corporate engagement in Eastern Europe. Welcome, and Suzy, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Alexandra, and hi to everyone. I don't know if you see my video. I was trying to share my screen actually, but okay, now I think I can. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. First, thank you so much for the opportunity and for all the efforts you have put into yours for the evaluation of different ecosystem in worldwide. And we are absolutely happy to have increased some places these years. And I'm sure that through some better engaging of our ecosystem and also improvement of our insights, also the ranking will improve in the coming years. Now I've prepared a presentation just to give a brief of what we are doing. And first, the agency is Innovation for Albania. It was actually established in the last few months, because before it was Startup Albania, and the main mission of Startup Albania is the the ecosystem growth and supporting startups in different phases of development. But now I wanted to share with you a brief of the new agency, which is under the Ministry of Economy and Innovation, and it was established just 1 month and a half before. And it has two main focuses as it comes like the merge of two different agencies, Startup Albania and Agency for Innovation and Excellence, which has the different specific topic on innovation in public administration. We have four main objectives, which is public innovation by transforming public administration and having some ministry units and getting the services through the public administration more innovative and more efficient. We have the startup ecosystem, the directory or the unit that I am head of, which is differently called the Directory of Startup Albania. It's a complete pathway from idea to global market. We also have a GovTech accelerator in plan incubation programs and some objectives to reach more than 100 new startups in 2026. It's another focus of us funding and EU programs by applying in different EU projects and providing some alternative financing mechanisms in Albania. And it's also a directory which is pretty technical and it's more related to technology and data, which consists of having a national data lake, some open data with up to more than 50 data sets and a regulatory sandbox. But now I'd like to stay more on the objectives of the Startup Albania, which is also the reason why I'm here today and what I want to present. So our main focus is to develop and promote the Albanian startup ecosystem in the national level, but also internationally. We aim to establish a single integrated access point for all startups, something that we have achieved so far, as we do have a platform, which is startupalbania.gov.al, which has all the information about the ecosystem here in Albania and the startups that we have supported so far. And we aim to attract and manage foreign donor funding and position Albania as a hub for digital nomads, and also implementing national strategies for the startup ecosystem. We also have implemented in 2024 the National Strategy for Innovative Companies 2024 to 2030. It's a 6-year vision that guides our work on a daily basis on what we have to do and to go toward our main objective by having as many more startups and more qualitative startups and more engaging ecosystem system in Albania. In terms of connectivity and accessibility, Albania is very good. It has a strategic location, and it's just 2 hours from Tirana, the capital, to major EU hubs. And it has fully digital interaction with government bodies. So for 1 day or 1 day and a half, you can incorporate and have your documents through these institutions. We do have a dedicated platform for ecosystem actors, which is the Startup Albania platform. And we do have some events, programs, fairs dedicated to innovative companies, and some facilities from the fiscal incentives that like tech and industrial parks with 0% tax. Very crucial information that whenever I'm asked about the strength of Albania is that talent pool that we have. And in terms of numbers, we have 21,000 IT specialists, and it's 15% increase in ICT students pipeline. And we do have 3,300 IT companies, or around 59% of Albanians speak at least one foreign language. And we also do have some specific learning centers that are focused on technology and design, blending digital skills with creativity. We have also École 42, which is a tuition-free peer-to-peer coding school that offers innovative and project-based approach to software engineering education. And the third one is Holberton School, which is actually the model comes from America. It's a full stack software engineering school that provides intensive and practice-driven programs. Other than these, because the recent update that I haven't had a chance to reflect in this presentation because it is like from the past week, this information. It's also collaboration that we are having with General Assembly that is providing some, it will provide some specific courses for young people in, but it's one of the most reputational and very high level technical skills that it offers for young people that would like to get some skills in this area. In terms of government priorities, as we are a government body, we do have dedicated strategy for innovative entrepreneurship, and we do have legal and regulatory framework, which is upgraded to match EU standards, as we are also aiming to join the EU by 2030. Access to capital remains a gap in the whole ecosystem, as we are mostly relying on grants, which is our yearly financing scheme, but it has proven to be very relevant and to help the whole ecosystem as the number of startups is growing from year to year. The agency, the Startup Albania, has been operating so far for 2.5 years. So we were established in January 2024, and we have provided 6 million euro through 2 different calls, and now we are just on the phase of evaluating the third applicants, the third call applicants, which means that we are gonna provide like 3 more million euros to startups. But other than financing, there are plenty of other services that we are providing to them, such as technical assistance, some trainings that means to would provide some capacity building, and we have also built a mentoring network. So there should be like more than 30 mentors from diaspora actually, but even others who are international, and we try to engage them through different meetups that we do on monthly basis for sure, but there are sometimes that it might be also twice or even 3 times per month, because that depends from the needs of our community. And yeah, we have some business angels in Albania. It should be said that it's a growing network, and we are looking forward to build some established frameworks for those angels and VC funds, so that they can have like from the legislation point of view, but also from the practical point of view, it should be a structured framework so that they can work, and that's something we are working on. We have built the Albanian Innovation Ecosystem Atlas. This atlas that's updated from time to time. It's very often because it depends on the new actors that are joining and the others who are not operating anymore. But we do have some startups and academia, corporates, media events, co-working, incubators and accelerators, investors, consulting and coaching, and awards and support. Other than this, we have also built Albania Startups Industry Mapping. So there are some very good startups operating in fintech, e-commerce, gaming, automotive, mobility, cyber, health. And also here to the right side, we see some startups that operate horizontally, and they do not have like a specific niche, but they have more extended focus. Yeah, Albania is awfully seen as an ideal testbed environment. There are some very big companies that are operating in different verticals here in Albania. They have found the right market to test their products. And about the state of the startup ecosystem so far, these are the latest data that we do have from the first startup ecosystem report that was launched last year. And here I would like to show you these numbers. So from the grant 2024 and 2025, we have provided 6 million euro grant budget, where we had 9 160 total applicants, and we have financed 172 startups. We do have 450 active startups so far, and the average age of grant winners is around 35 years old. And also funding by gender is 34.3% is women and 65.7% is men. But here I'd like to say that for this year, the grant 2026, which is still in the process of evaluation, we had like a record applicants of 1,219 applicants, which means like 3 times more from the last year. Here are the grants from the top industries, which are also some of our priorities: tourism, business services, AI, manufacturing, and education. By startup development phase, so we finance the proof of idea, prototype, and scale-ups, and it's also a geographic region, which is also mostly focused in the capital. So we'll also have the strategy that I already showed a bit, and yeah, this was what I had already prepared for today's presentation. And thank you so much for the opportunity once again.
Thank you so much, Susie, for providing this information. It was very insightful. Catherine, over to you now.
Okay, thank you so much, Fuji. Thank you to everyone that presented today, and congratulations to everyone for their results. This is, a culmination of all the hard work of the ecosystem developers, the startups themselves, and the whole ecosystem to be able to achieve growth in different aspects. So really, congratulations, and we hope that you will download the report and gain more insights as well. The team will be putting some links there. We have the link to our report. If you have not downloaded it, we also have our LinkedIn, also our other socials. If you have questions, feedback, or you would like to partner with us, or you have any questions about any specific organization that spoke today, you can leave your comments or questions on our contact form. So thank you again to everyone. Thank you for joining us, and yeah, we look forward to seeing you again in our next event. Thank you.